I've been feeling really burnt out from my typical rotation of games such as Ground Branch, Escape from Tarkov, Call of Duty, DMZ. So I wanted to try something new, and that led me to this game right here. $20 on the Steam page, hard to beat. Launching on Steam in February of 2022, SCP-5K, formerly known as SCP Pandemic, is a cooperative tactical horror shooter that puts players in the midst of a story inspired by SCP-5000. Stunning graphics, an attachment system with a plethora of different weapon systems to put the attachments on, PvP, PvE, what does this early access tactical first-person horror shooter have to offer after being out for a year? Let's jump in. But I need to be honest, I don't know much about SCP lore, so SCP nerds, I apologize.
Get out of my house!
What I can tell you is that the SCP lore is deep and that each mission has its own backstory. And if you want, you can find all of that on the Steam store page right here. And when you launch the game, there's going to be 4 different PvE missions that you're going to be able to run. Raid on Area 12, which is a story-based mission. Hunt, almost like Terrorist Hunt from Rainbow Six or Ground Branch. Wave Survival Horror Mode. And then Player versus AI Testing. The last option is PvP. Now, it's something that's important to note about PvP. I tried to find a server that was running PvP, and I could not find anybody playing it at the time that I was recording a lot of my content. Now, before you see that as a big red flag, the nice part is that if you have a community of people or friends, you can make your own server, you can privatize that server, that way nobody else can join, and next thing you know, you're playing the game. The best way I can describe this game is if Ready or Not, Ground Branch, Insurgency Sandstorm, and Left 4 Dead all had a baby. So some of you may be thinking, like GTFO? Exactly, it's kind of like GTFO. You have the tactical aspect of gun customization, clean weapon system manipulation and reloading, leaning, and AI with weapons, just like in Ground Branch and Ready or Not. The Left 4 Dead and GTFO aspect is solving puzzles while going from one point of the map to the other, with zombie-like creatures chasing you. Looking at Hunt first, this game mode is very self-explanatory. If you've played Ground Branch or if you played Rainbow Six Siege Terrorist Hunt, then you know exactly how this game mode goes. You load in, you pick your loadout, and you take out 30 enemy AI while also looking for computers to grab data from and then exfil. This experience is relatively quick. It took 3 total of us to make it through the entirety of the mission in about 20 minutes. And it left us really wondering, like, wait, was that it?
That's it. That's it.
Now, the survival mode is very similar to other game modes that are out there in other games, such as Left 4 Dead survival mode, as well as Gears of War Horde, where you are surviving against wave after wave after wave of enemies that are coming through at you at a very progressive rate of increasing difficulty. This is fun, but honestly, a lot of games have done this idea before, and so it left me wanting even more, and man, did the raid do that for me. This mission is insane, especially at the crescendo event toward the end. It took myself and another friend 90 minutes to complete. And this is the reason you buy the game and for future missions that will be added. The amount of detail and mystery that's surrounding around the entire compound that you are inside of really felt like the first time I played The Forest, and you're really just trying to figure out all the mystery and what is happening around you. You have a lot of hints on what you're going to be dealing with dead operators and dead scientists and workers all over the place. This world building that they're doing immerses you into the story. And in order to continue world building properly, sound design is incredibly important, especially in horror games. When the music and sounds are playing, they really are building that world.
La 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 la.
A lot of contacts front, dude. Oh! However, there were times that I felt like there could be more ambient noise or some more horror music to really build that suspense, because there are times where it just fell through and I was wanting more. Yeah, this is the way out. Doors opening up. There's probably gonna be a lot of enemies. Oh. I'm reloading. I'm out of ammo. I'm out of ammo.
Sorry, just push back.
No, I'm dead. I'm dead. Now, with the game being semi-linear, it does not hold your hand. They want you to try and struggle through this mission, finding the different things that you need to in order to progress.
There are no rules, man. We're lost.
There are so many different puzzles in this game, such as, for example, finding key codes for a keypad in order to open a door, shooting different electrical panels that'll shut off electricity to locked doors, and then also shutting off valves that are going to completely cut off water supply so you can get to a new area. And those are just a couple of them. There are plenty more. You start out with a handgun and a head-mounted flashlight, only to find more weapon systems as you traverse across the massive compound known as Area 12. You'll find workbenches all across the area to allow you to customize your weapon system with all kinds of attachments. We're talking optics, lasers, flashlights, and foregrips of the like. The weapon system manipulation feels real, and tactical aspect feels pretty solid. Getting too close to walls, doorways, or people will cause the weapon to push back toward your body. However, I have to say the swaying from walking while aiming down sights is the only thing that can feel out of place, since it feels like a toddler running around trying to hold up a weapon. Now, obviously the weapons are used against the AI monsters such as SCPs, and AI with weapon systems that will attack you along the way. Breaking down doors and sprinting at you en masse, you will also run into some horrifying creatures. Take this guy, for example. He will move if someone isn't consistently looking at him. You can't kill him, and he's made of stone. At least it sounds like it is. Or how about these giant crab spiders that run at you?
Why spiders? Why couldn't we follow the butterflies?
Combat's relatively simple. If the enemy gets too close to you, you're just able to bash them with your melee. Headshots take down enemies very quickly.
It's like boom, headshot.
The biggest thing that we found out is that you need to have a gun in the fight at all times. So when my buddy and I were playing this, we were doing more of a talking guns thing where I would shoot, I would reload, and then he would start shooting at the enemy. Obviously, if you have more people, not that big of a deal, but that seemed to be the best way because when we both were reloading, we would get got. Now, when they got us, there's a respawn system, which is very nice. Fortunately for us, one of us was able to survive at all times, where we were able to respawn after about 10-second timer would count down if you did die. Now, Hunt doesn't do that. If you die, you have to spectate until your teammates complete an objective, and once they do, then you'll respawn. Now, if you take a look at the server browser, you're gonna see that there are a total of 12 people that can be in a server, which is absolute chaos when that many people get involved. Strength in numbers is super present, and that was one of the things that actually detracted from the horror experience. Everything that was creepy and scary faded away very quickly, and I found that this game shines really well if you have anywhere from 2 to 4 people. Over those 90 minutes, I never got bored while I was playing it. I did get frustrated trying to solve some of the puzzles along the way, but that was because I wanted to complete the mission so badly that I wanted to see what else the mission had in store for us. It's like every single area that you would go to, there was something new that you could find. And it was challenging, and that challenge made me wonder what else are we going to find throughout the rest of this raid. Now, looking at the bigger improves, what can the game do better in my opinion? The AI can be incredibly broken for seeing through walls and shooting at the wall when you're standing behind it. But then they will have this mapping of an enemy that won't be able to see you. For example, when we hid behind this chain link fence. It seems to be something with the AI with guns versus without. You know, and I'd love to see some type of enemy searching mechanic for you and some type of stealth element added to the game. Along with AI, the ones that are carrying the weapons don't drop the weapon after they die. When a teammate goes down, they respawn with their pistol, oftentimes not directly by other weapons, and that requires them to run back to a point where a workbench and weapons are located. You know, I'd love to see the ability to pick them up off of dead bodies or even magazines off of them as well. Granted, there are a lot of ammo boxes that you can pick up along the way. The server connection was rather rough. Even when joining a server that had like 60 ping, the more players that were joining a server just seemed to cause more instability and stuttering and jumpiness. More stability in the servers would add so much to the experience on the game. There also isn't a checkpoint system. The server crashed after we were in the raid for about an hour, and then when we launched back into the server, it had crashed for everybody, so we started from the very beginning of that mission. We were furious. It'd be really nice if there was a checkpoint system that saved across the game. So what I mean is, let's say we're in a public server, I have to leave, and then we jump back into a private server later on. It knows that progress on that mission. That way, if my buddy and I want to go back into there and we weren't able to finish it at that time, we can jump back in at any given point at that checkpoint. The player collision in this game is, oh my gosh. It adds to the realism of things because obviously bodies just don't ghost through each other like other games. But when you have 12 people trying to get on an elevator and everybody is colliding with each other, it is maddening. And then on top of it, if someone wants to be an a-hole and troll you guys, they can just stand in a doorway, that way you can't get past it. I think what should happen is that when you start a server, that should be an option that you can check to say player collision on or off. And then I believe servers that are ongoing should have a vote system to be able to turn it on or off. As far as player count goes, this game is looking at 104 players in a 24-hour peak, as well as 437 in an all-time peak. When I launched the game, there were servers to play, but almost all of them were running the raid on Area 12. So keep this in mind if you're playing the game solo and want to try other experiences that the game has to offer. As far as replayability goes, there isn't a whole lot of content right now, but the good news is that they have a roadmap of what they're going to be doing, and they update very regularly on what it is that they're working on at any given time in the Steam news page. And if you're looking for the next big content update, it's going to be dropping in June.
How long is this going to take?
With all of that said, this game honestly has the potential to be a great co-op shooter in the horror genre, especially fitting into that niche community of the tactical variety. There's a lot of fun to be had, and it honestly just feels like they're scratching the surface right now. With it being an early access game, we know that more content is going to be coming. So if you enjoyed what you saw and you're wanting to get involved with this game, check out SCP-5K on the Steam page. It's $20 right now. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. We stream Sunday through Wednesday over at Twitch. Check it out. Subscribe. Follow, whatever. Appreciate you. See you later.